Guys, is this the first time that the entire cast, less poor Jennifer, I wish she was here, has assembled for an appearance like this? I think
yes.
We were never able to do
yes.
that.
We should ask you.
Yes.
You would know.
All right, so there you have it. You got everybody for the 20th anniversary. And Jennifer, we miss you wherever you are. Nice. It's a little ungainly to have so many of you, but thank you. God bless all you guys for coming. All I want each of you to reflect on before we throw you out to the audience is, I'd like each of you to just kind of reflect on the 20th anniversary. It's 20 years later. I remember when the show launched, we were there with you guys. We had you guys come out at the very first convention, right when the show began being released. And it's 20 years later. Each of you just give us a reflection on 20 years later. I'd appreciate it. We could start with Robbie and work our way down.
I would say my first impression being here today is just awe. I really can't believe how many people are here, first of all. Thank you guys, all of you guys.
It's a full room. Are you talking about close to 5,000 people here?
Wow,
Yeah.
it's incredible. And with these guys, my first thought is that how much they're the same people I remember meeting in 1994 when we first started making this. Everybody seems so familiar and like family, and it's so easy just to fall back into real connections, great connections that we made over all those years. So it's like nothing's changed, except Bob's hairline. But other than that,
What was there to change?
and I'm done.
I second that motion. Very much an old home week coming to the show, and I was not sure if everybody was going to be here when I was on my way here. I wasn't sure if everybody was going to make it to this weekend, and I was so happy. And the lady came up to get me from my room to say, "We're going down." I said, "Is everybody here?" She said, "Yes, everybody is here." And I thought, "Oh my goodness, that's so cool." I said, "Even Ethan Phillips?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, damn it."
We all said that.
Yeah, there was a consensus. So it's all right. Thanks, Tim.
I agree. I love these people, and I'm so happy to be with them again. And I'm proud of our work, and I'm happy that you guys are celebrating with us, and that you miss us and are happy to see us all together again. I mean, when we were all in the room together taking a picture together, we couldn't stop talking long enough to take the picture. So it's a special day.
It reminded me today when we were all taking pictures and talking and catching up of those the boardroom scenes, you know, where we'd be there and we hadn't seen each other all week, except it was now it's 20 years later. And we all would just do terrible things to the director because we would just sit and talk the whole time and catch up and what are you doing? And what are you doing? And now it's the same exact thing. It's like no time has gone by. So you say 20 years, and I say, you know, it feels like literally, it feels like 5 minutes. It's kind of amazing, except we're all bringing our adult children in tow. So that's one of the really amazing things about it.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity. Because I don't know when I'll have this opportunity again, and that is to thank everybody up here. Because you guys were there for me from the beginning, and the beginning was hard. I was not the first choice, as you all know. Geneviève Bujold was, so I came in shot out of a cannon. And it was scary and trepidatious. And each one of you, McNeill, you were there, Tim Russ, Bob Picardo, constant to the end. Roxann, so sweet. Jeri, you came in late, but you were great. Johnny, Garrett, Bob, and Robert Beltran. You know, something happens when you're 7 years in the trenches together. It transcends friendship, and it goes into something else. I will never forget you guys. You are a singular group of classy, marvelous, kind, funny, talented people. And it was a great privilege.
But I'm gonna take it anyway. It is amazing how it feels like no time has passed until we look around. And like you said, we have adult children who are here who were little bitty toddlers or babies then. And people that you never thought you would hear saying, show them your arabesque, saying to their new little 2 girl, show them your arabesque. And it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. And as you can see, barely controlled chaos at any given moment when all of us are together.
I look at this crowd and I think, my God. I think I left more people than this in bed.
I was there.
I know.
You're right.
No, but it's been 2 decades. When we started this show, Captain Crunch was just a private. And I want to thank all of you for coming, especially the people in row 108. This goes out to you guys. But seriously, it is a joy to be with everybody here. I love all these guys, and I have since I met them. Thank you.
I've done a lot of conventions. A lot of you guys have met me many times over and over. But coming to this one, I had butterflies. I really did. I just nervous anticipation of seeing all of us together once again. So, I mean, I guess I could just sum it up in 2 words. Oh my.
This reminds me of being on the bridge. Being on the bridge. We drove directors crazy.
Yes.
I know 2 of them that retired after directing us. Chris Bull.
It's true.
I ran into him and I asked him, are you directing? He said, no, I quit after directing you guys. He said the inmates are taking over the asylum. And that's exactly what it was. But, you know, because I used to get a lot of comments from some of the other crew members that had worked on Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and they would say things like, you know, they were pretty loose, but you guys are nuts. So I think it's just a testament how much we enjoy being around each other and respect each other. So it's been a great day.
All right, you guys. Beautiful, well-spoken, and we want to give this gift right out to the audience. So let's go ahead and open it up to our audience's questions, and I know we've got tons of them for you, so we'll try and get through as many as time will dictate, okay? So off we go right here, please. Yeah.
What's up?
Robert Beltran, I'm really hoping that you believe in second chances, because 2 years ago I was here for my first time and I sort of lost the plot. I chickened out and you were going to take your shirt off for me.
Who's going to take their shirt off?
Robert
You,
Beltran
Kate,
was.
you're gonna. I thought she said you.
No, Robert
Trying to keep
Beltran.
the ratings up.
Commander Chakotay.
What do you want?
Take your shirt off, apparently.
Take my shirt off?
Yeah, 2 years ago you were going to and I chickened out.
You want to see my bra?
I think, Robert, it would cause such complete chaos. This place would go into pandemonium. I won't allow it. I won't allow it, Robert. I'm sorry.
Are you sure? Because I would love to.
No, I won't.
I'm sorry.
So then can I ask Kate and the other girls, just so that I get to know a little bit more about Robert, because it's a bit hard to stalk him from New Zealand. Could you tell me whether you think Robert is more like Commander Chakotay, the sensitive New Age guy, sexy but sensitive New Age guy, or is he more like the character he played in the play Solitude, the man, the gigolo?
Well,
I heard some of that. I should say I understood some of that. One was a play that I did a couple of years ago called Solitude, and you wanted to know about what else? Chakotay? Oh, who am I more like? Oh, them.
You're asking Captain Janeway, 7 of 9, and Torres whether or not Beltran is more like Commander Chakotay or the gigolo that he played in Solitude.
I think 7 of 9 married the commander, but Captain Janeway had the gigolo. And wait a minute, Lieutenant Torres.
Just
how are
watch.
things hanging?
It wasn't called the Ready Room for nothing.
Hello, my question is for Tim, and also for the other great people up there who have directed an episode too. But anyway, Mr. Russ, you did a great job with Living Witness. I thought it was a really fun episode.
Thank you.
And one thing you said about directing on Voyager was that if you shot something that wasn't within the standards or within the restrictions of Mr. Rick Berman's standards, is that you would have to reshoot it or redo it. I'm curious to know if anything jumps to mind from that episode that you had to redo that was outside the box, quote unquote. And again, anybody who else has directed up there who had to redo anything?
I had to reshoot a whole episode I directed one time. No, I'm kidding.
Robbie, and I don't know if Robbie and Roxann also did several episodes of Voyager as well. I did not have to do, and Picardo as well, did not have to do anything.
Where is Bob?
Where is Bob? Where is he?
Oh, wait a minute, there he is. You put a hat on, he doesn't know who I am. That's like somebody putting a ski rack on your car and expecting you not to recognize it.
I don't know if those guys had to. I don't think that they did.
I
remember one redo that we did though. It was something about a butt crack. Does anybody want to jump in?
Oh, the butt crack.
The digital butt crack.
Digital butt crack.
Digital butt crack.
Yeah,
Robert, do you remember that when you had to be naked from behind and they...
And
Will
then
you guys quit talking about me being nude?
Come on, Robert, show them you really have one.
Of the 13 episodes I directed, 3 of them I ran into that problem. Investigations.
Ethan, you didn't direct any episodes.
No, I directed some of the
No.
shows.
Yes, he did.
No, you didn't.
No, I don't.
South of the
Yeah.
Vortex.
No.
What was the other one?
The Basics Part 4.
Twisted.
The Ningling Nebula.
You look.
And
I did.
nobody up here is drunk, okay?
Yes, stone sober.
We have all evidence to the contrary. No one is drunk.
No, did not have to. I don't think anybody had to read, but there were reshoots on occasion, and we did have to sort of work within the parameters of the executive producer, which is sort of the case on television projects.
was he on top of you all the time?
No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, he wasn't.
Really? Was that true of you too, Roxann?
It was not.
Yes, Kate.
Thank you very much. So nice to see you.
We did when I wrote most of season 4.
Ethan, you didn't write any episode.
Thank you.
No.
Oh, yes, you did. The wormhole and the widow. That was wonderful.
You didn't.
Will you take off your shirt? I think everybody should take their shirt off. Come on.
I can't believe that
Let's
after
make
20
it an
years.
anniversary we'll never forget.
Can you believe that after 20 years we're up here? All of us? It's kind of amazing.
Wonderful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Robbie, you took your shirt off at what convention, remember?
Robert, can you do something with him?
Robbie took Robbie and I were at a buffet earlier. He took his shirt off and the waiters put on riot helmets.
Let's take another question.
Next question.
Hi there. Hello over here. We're all like kind of crying in line here because it's so wonderful to see you all and just like you're all so amazing friends. My question is actually for Tim. And side note, I loved you in Samantha Who.
Thank you.
Yes. One other person. It's amazing. I would like to know. It was a great show.
I have that show on VHS. I love it.
You wrote the show, didn't you, Ethan?
I produced it.
Yes. But my question for Tim, I would like to ask, your portrayal of Tuvok was superb, and I'm wondering how much, because this was, because this, Vulcan after Spock, and I'm wondering how much of the character was given to you by the producers and the writers on how you're supposed to develop it and what you brought to it, and if you had any insights in how you wanted to portray Tuvok.
Oh, the writers had a great deal to do with how the characters develop on the show, and I did work with them on several occasions when we had shows that were heavy for that character. There were issues we dealt with when one of the Pon Farr episodes. We actually had to come up with sort of cultural Vulcan lore that didn't exist. We had to actually make some kind of, put a template together for that episode so that it made sense. So I did work with them.
So you practiced Pon Farr a lot?
Actually, Ethan and I did do a little bit of Pon Farr in this trailer, and it helped me a lot. It helped me a great deal. But yeah, it was. We did work together with the writers on occasion. I did, and it was a long process. Each episode you have that focused on his character at that time, and it's very similar for all of us. It comes in through the stories, and the stories give us the background, give us the nuances and the details about the character, and the character grows over that time. It's critical to have.
Tim told me, and this is true, that he based a lot of his character on a 2x4.
I can see that.
You can well imagine it was a very long 7 years.
Okay, my questions are very out of the ordinary and I'm very embarrassed to even ask it.
I wouldn't be embarrassed in this company.
Alright, so y'all know what fan fiction is, right? Okay. No. It's all like that. No. I write a fan fiction, not very often, but every once in a while, about Janeway actually having a daughter. Of course, that's me. And I was just curious about like what that would have been like, because she didn't have children in the show, and she wanted them eventually, but what would that have been like? How would that have changed her structure, like on board, you know?
But I must correct you. I did have children.
Yes.
Oh yes, I did. I had misbehaving miscreants for children for 7 long years. What would it have been like if I'd had a daughter?
Personal daughter.
A personal daughter?
On the ship.
On top of running this ship?
Yes.
On top of the lizards I gave birth to after copulating with the How do you feel about that, Lieutenant Parrott? That was an erotic moment in the history. We copulated in the turbo lift, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I think you enjoyed it. You told me you enjoyed it, Kate. She's ignoring.
Is that everyone's vote for the worst episode we made?
Come on, people!
Were you turned into giant lizards at the end?
I did all my best acting in that episode.
What was the name of the episode?
Somebody out there must know.
What?
Threshold.
No kidding.
Listen, if you take some mind-altering substance and watch that episode, I'm telling you, you'll appreciate it.
Always appropriate.
What?
Okay.
Thank you for suggesting that there could have been a modicum of normalcy on the show.
Well, let's take it over there. Go ahead.
I'm having sort of a surreal experience. I'm an actor with a name that is just...
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen.
And it never caught on, so I retired. And I was just in Vegas, and I didn't know what was happening. I came in here, and I was on a space show like 15 years ago. With a bunch of guys that look just like you, but you're all so old.
No.
And speaking of getting old, my question to you guys is, I know you pretty well, but none of these guys, if you're who I think you are, I don't know. But tell me something in your great wisdom, in your age. I'm sorry, but tell me something you absolutely, positively know.
That you have spoken to...
Is that Manu? Manu.
It's Ichab.
Manu.
Ichab.
That's Ichab. It's Manu.
I absolutely know that I can't spell your last name.
I'm serious. It's a good question. Something, this whole life, something you absolutely know, for sure.
I know that secrets that are not told become so big that secret is bigger than the original secret.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. It's true. It's absolutely true. I signed that, but a lot of people keep secrets. A lot of people keep secrets. Not good. That's good.
Thank you. I studied philosophy at Yale.
John, Ethan, you didn't study philosophy. No, you didn't. You didn't study it.
Not at Yale in New Haven. It's a little college in
Yale
Oklahoma.
College in Pomona?
Yale College of Oklahoma.
The place that makes locks.
Yeah.
Hi. Happy 20th. Thank you all for being here and seeing you all on stage. It's informative looking at you guys and experiencing your energy is informative of the show, and it gave it that flavor. I can see it right here. I just had a question for everyone up there. Were you fans of TNG or Deep Space Nine at the time you got your roles, or even of TOS? Were you big Star Trek fans at all, or whatever?
No.
Have you?
I became a fan really fast.
Oh, yes, me too.
And most of the actors who played the role say they don't go back and watch a lot. Have you gone back and watched any of your work for Voyager?
No.
Nope.
Not lately, no.
Is that like an actor superstition? Or?
Actually, that's not technically true. Technically, that's a lie, because my son loves Star Trek and grew up with it, and so enjoyed going back and watching it years later from a different perspective. Now that
I've seen myself.
So I would kind of watch some of them with him.
I've seen myself in German and Spanish. That's the only time I've seen it. Actually watched an episode, or just a piece of it. That's it.
I had a reason for actually not liking Star Trek, because I actually grew up in a house behind William Shatner. And I played with his daughter Leslie, and I always wanted to go out and play basketball after school, and she wanted to go in and watch her dad on TV. So I would just hate that show. And so it always kept us from actually like going out and doing something fun. We had to go watch that show. And so years later, I found myself doing a movie of the week, which was one of the first things I did out here after I was living in New York, and I was acting in an opposite William Shatner, and we're in this movie called, I think it was called Broken Angel, and we're doing this movie, and I'm sitting in the car with him. I said, by by the way, I used to live behind you, and I played with like Leslie, and he looked at me, he says, you're the, I said, yes. You know, just wanted to let him know who I was. And then years later, I saw him after we started Voyager, and I went, boy, we just keep going full circle here. So it was a really interesting process. So that's my reasoning for not liking it in the beginning.
When have you gone back to watch anything else? The other shows, any of that?
You know, my daughters have looked at some of the episodes, but they just can't get over the forehead.
My daughter speaks German and English, and she was in Germany visiting her grandparents. She was watching Star Trek, Voyager, and when she came home, she said, Daddy, I didn't know you spoke German. But she much prefers to watch something else.
I don't watch myself in Voyager, but I do watch myself in reruns of F Troop a lot. As often as I can.
Ethan.
What, Ethan?
You weren't on F Troop either.
No, but did a guest star.
No, you didn't.
You were the head writer, don't you remember?
I catered it. I'll shut up.
It's not rewarding to look back. It's not good. It's best to stay in the moment.
I've always been a fan of science fiction from the age of 8 when I first saw Star Wars in the movie theater in 1977, and everything after that I loved. I watched everything, Star Trek, TOS, BSG, original BSG, now BSG, everything, you name it, I loved everything. But when TNG came on, and I know there's a lot of huge TNG fans, I was in college at the time, and TNG comes on, season 1, I was so excited to watch it. I turn it on, and the episode that came on has been arguably, a lot of people believe to be the worst written episode of Star Trek in the history of Star Trek.
Ethan wrote it,
It's
right?
called Code of Honor. And Ethan wrote it, called Code of Honor.
Yeah, you wrote it and you started.
I tried my best, but it was a very difficult hook at the end, and I didn't get it produced by Crackers, Rosin, Stanford, Chapek.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know that episode, that's the episode where the away team goes down to the planet. It's a planet of all turban people, and they're trying to give a gift to Picard, the away team, and Tasha Yar flips this guy on the ground, and the guy looks up and he says, but it was a gift. And then Picard says, I'm sorry, that was my security chief, pointing at Tasha Yar. And then the guy looks at Tasha Yar and says, your security chief is a woman? And after that, every scene, every line was garbage. So I said, I'm gonna give Next Gen another chance. So about 9 months later, I turned it on. It is a rerun of Code of Honor. 2 years after that, I wait 2 more years, I turn it on, it is again a rerun of Code of Honor. So 3 times I tried to watch it and I realized God was telling me, do not watch Star Trek Next Generation. And you know what? Because if I watched any other episode, I would have been a huge fan. When I walked into the audition for Ensign Kim, I probably would have messed it up because I would have been too nervous. So really, God helped me get on Voyager.
Wrote that episode, didn't you, Ethan?
I did not write it. I did not write for TNG. I wrote for Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the original series, and Enterprise. I did not write for TNG. That's a myth. A lot of people think I did, particularly the wonderful episodes that they did.
I love the work you did on Deep Space Nine.
Thank you. It's a dark show. I spent a lot of time trying to get that right.
But you explored such interesting and provocative themes.
Thank you, Kelly.
And you and Avery had a very kind of interesting relationship.
Avery and I were lovers for years. I really don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to talk about it. It's still painful.
I'm sorry, I know.
All right, then.
My question's about how one of the many reasons why we all love Star Trek is because it shows us morality and idealism and sort of inspires hope. But Star Trek has also, from the beginning, been a political show. And there have been parts throughout the entire canon that have sort of talked about what we're going through today as a society and in our country. Section 31 in Deep Space Nine presaged sort of the issues we're having today with government surveillance. And I'm recalling the episode of that.
There was an alien that looked like Donald Trump's wig.
Yeah.
Continue.
Sorry.
And so I'm thinking about episodes like Memorial, where the cast is reliving a war that they didn't fight, and there's a real question about how do we understand, how do we honor this memory. And it's about the same time that our country was trying to figure out, what do we do with the 50th anniversary after World War II and the Enola Gay and the Smithsonian? They seem very sort of coincidental. And so my question is about, what did you have to do as a challenge or as an opportunity in terms of understanding the political nature of your work, even as an actor in Star Trek?
I remember, I'll jump in. I remember an episode called Unity, where there was the Borg. You'll probably remember the episode much better than me. I directed the episode, and I remember it was about these ex-Borg, half-Borg. They were kind of recovering Borg and trying to rebuild a new society. And I talked to the writer, I don't remember who wrote the episode, but they mentioned something that was happening at the time, which was the collapse of the Soviet Union, and all of that was going on. And I thought, what an interesting parallel, using the Borg as sort of a communist state or whatever. Anyway, it was just an interesting parallel at the time of what was happening in the world to use that episode, and it helped me as a director of that episode to sort of ground moment to moment and scene by scene the story into what was happening. So yeah, I do remember that episode very clearly as a political kind of parallel.
You directed that episode.
I think Ethan did.
Ethan did.
I'm sorry.
Robert McNeill, I would like to ask you a question while we have the opportunity.
Yeah, please don't.
What was your favorite episode? What was your favorite episode to direct in your entire 7-year tenure
Wait,
on
this is a
Star
question-
Trek Voyager?
We made fun of them for asking this question.
Now, I would like to know what Mr. McNeill thinks is his favorite episode.
The lizard episode.
No.
What would it have been,
I think the episode that Kate's probably thinking about was the very first episode I ever directed
with the trade.
Sacred Ground.
Where's the response to Sacred
Ground? No, I think Kate was phenomenal in that episode, and we had a wonderful time. It was the very first episode I ever directed, and it was a big story for Janeway, and there was some real nuanced and very new stuff for her to do as a character, and it was a great episode. It was wonderful. And then Bob Picardo and Someone to Watch Over Me was also a great episode. And Jeri, Tim Russ, Roxann, Dawson, Ethan Phillips, Garrett Wang, and Robert Beltran. Thank you.
What was your favorite? You did a lot, Roxann.
You're not supposed to be asking the questions. This is.
Well, getting back to your question.
What is your question?
I did an episode. I'm sorry. You want to say something, Roxann? Well, I did an episode called The Fight, where I was dealing with my father's encroaching dementia or Alzheimer's, and I'm dealing with that with my mother right now. She's 96 years old. And I know, Kate, you had to go through that also. And I think a lot of us are going through it or will be going through it. But this was told to me, one of the writers, I think it was Ken Biller, was going through the same thing with his one of his parents. So, we're all either dealing with it or we're going to be, our children are going to be dealing with it. Because, who knows what we're eating anymore. And
They say by 2050, 50% of the population will be touched by it in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great question. I don't know if we have enough time to really go into it, but still, it's a great question.
But that was the beauty of Star Trek. You asked the question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the beauty, the philosophical themes, the political themes. Marvelous to explore them. I often talk about death wish, suicide, the right to take your own life. Wonderful, provocative, and investigative themes. Terrific.
And also not preachy, which is one of the things I loved about the show, is that they would offer many different sides and really force you to sit down and talk about these issues without forcing a point of view down your throat. And I really appreciated that, especially after I went back and watched, you know, other episodes from the original series and really understood what made Star Trek so special and so enduring is that these stories can be told over and over again. They're human stories, they're things that we deal with and continue to deal with. And I think that is really what makes the series so special.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Let's take it over here. Time is running out. Let's keep going.
So first of all, I'd like to say thank you. Voyager's been a big part in shaping who I am, especially having Captain Janeway as a role model growing up. On the 20th anniversary, looking back, what's your favorite memory as a cast?
Yeah, that's favorite memory of a cast member or the cast. Let's take it right on down the line. Start with Jeri.
Okay, first of all, anytime that the entire cast was in a scene together, yeah, I mean, all hell broke loose. The poor director completely lost any semblance of control that he might have had. And I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been like the inauguration of the new Astrometrics Lab set, and I think it was there. So everybody was together, and these boys skipping around. Do you remember the Michael Flatley Lord of the Dance thing that they were doing?
Oh, yeah, I came up with that one.
Oh my God, these guys killed me. Killed me. I think we need a little demonstration of the Lord of the Dance, frankly. Get your ass up and dance.
It was Robbie, myself, you joined along,
Robert
right?
Beltran.
Robert Beltran, that's your name.
Yes, you did.
I'm the youngest, but I'm getting Alzheimer's. Okay. Tim Russ, were you part of it?
Yeah.
Was I there for that? Riverdance? You know what? This is how it started. Kate, I did it as a homage because of you're an Irish American. So I thought if I do an Irish kind of dance thing, Riverdance, you would be happy. And that's how it came up. Nobody remembers this.
It was to please me
It was to please you.
that you did that.
Yes, yes, ma'am. That is correct. Repeatedly.
On many occasions.
On many occasions.
At about 2 o'clock in the morning.
I remember exactly how
When
it
the
started.
close-up was mine.
You guys, let's do it. Remember? I came on the set once, and I said, I'm Michael Flatley.
Highly sophisticated.
Oh
I
my
love you guys for
gosh.
that.
I remember, Robbie, do you remember this? We were really bored on the bridge, and so I walked over. Our comm badges were made of plastic, painted with metallic paint and Velcro on both sides. And so I walked over to McNeill. I said, "Come here," and I grabbed his comm badge, ripped it off, and he's like, "Hey!" that's my McNeill. Hey! So I stand back and I throw it, and it actually lands back on and sticks. I'm like, yes! And McNeill goes, hey, let me try that. So he grabs one, and he throws it, it sticks. I go, hey, let's go further apart. So we start right backing up. Let's try 6 feet. Hey, let's try 8 feet. And all of a sudden I hear Kate go, let me try, excuse me. Come here, Ensign, come here, Ensign. She rips it off, she takes it, she goes, oh, and it sticks. I'm the captain, thank you.
Who else? Who do we miss here?
You had to have your wits about you on that. All right, do we have a question over here from this?
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Sort of a hypothetical. I always thought Captain Janeway was such a powerful character, and I believe the Borg were prospecting her for the next Borg Queen. In fact, I thought it would be interesting if future Janeway somehow survived the end of season 7 and became the new Borg Queen. Perhaps even a finale battle between Janeway and future Janeway. Which side wins, and who does 7 of 9 join?
You're very prescient. But it's already been written by the great John Ethan Phillips.
You use the word prescient.
Yes, indeed.
It's a refulgent episode, which means filled with light.
What happened at the end, as in your first draft?
The end of the first draft, Neelix.
What happened to Neelix?
Neelix directs an episode of Sacred Ground in the final chapter. And it has a lot of complications, that show. If I can say one memory I have, and we all fooled around so much. I mean, there was not...
Which I know surprises you.
There's not one person in this cast who really wasn't the class clown. We were all the class clown. And when we started shooting the show, the very first episode was in the pilot, I was wondering, well, who's going to be the first one? I told this during Houston, who's going to be the first one who clowns around? You know, because we were all pretty serious the first couple of days. You know, fun, but everything. But when we got on the set, it was nerve-wracking. You know? And we used these pads. And in the script, they were spelled P-A-D-D. That's how they were spelled in the script. And I was on the bridge, and Tom Paris had a line to me. Neelix handed me the pad. And we're shooting the scene. And Robbie goes, Neelix, hand me the pad. On camera. And I look at him, and he's got this little twinkle in his eye. And I knew right then and there we were going to have fun for the next 7 years.
Can I just tell a memory of you, Ethan? Please. It's great. It's wonderful. We were filming on location in Bronson Caves, okay, which is a location in Los Angeles, and I think we were maybe filming. I don't know the episode exactly, but we filmed there more than once, and it was very hot. It was during the day. It was very hot, and all the actors were there, and we were just sweating, and we were just complaining. We were like, oh my gosh, we need water, we need shade, we need an umbrella, everything was just complain for about half an hour. And all of a sudden, Ethan Phillips pipes up. He goes, shut up! Shut up! All of you, shut up! None of you is wearing a mattress on top of your head! And when he gets angry, his false teeth spit out. Remember this diatribe?
Yeah. I don't remember it, but I am a believer that complaining puts cracks in the universe.
Okay, on a serious note though, this man, his makeup was brutal. I think like a strip of your chin showed. I mean, everything was covered, completely covered, plus those horrible, huge contact lenses. He never, ever complained. I never heard him.